Talking of Scottish football, Celtic tonight, they got beat 6-0 by Atletico Madrid. They are bottom of their group on 1 point. They haven't kept a clean sheet, I think, in 35 games, home or away, in the Champions League. It's pretty pathetic viewing for Celtic fans. And look, I asked him the question, and we was chatting about it. Is there any point in them even being in the Champions League? Do they need to just go through the qualifying system and try and qualify for it? Because they end up just getting knocked out of it, finishing bottom, and they're out of Europe before Christmas. When actually, you look at Rangers when they got into the Europa League, they had a brilliant run. It was great fun. I know they get money for the Champions League. I know it's about money. I get that. But where are they going? They're not improving in any season. They're not getting better. No. It's the same old, same old. They haven't qualified for the knockout stages since 2012.
Jay, it's embarrassing, mate. And Celtic fans must love the fact they're going around, they're travelling around Europe again, and elite competition.
But it gets a bit old, doesn't it?
Jay, they're the whipping boys. Everyone wants Celtic in their group, and that tells you all you need to know. Give us Celtic, give us Rangers whenever they want. And they can't compete, mate. They simply can't compete. I mean, even Feyenoord, who are above them, they're 5 points above them.
No.
5 points, and there's been 4 games. They got 1 point. Conceded 12 in 4 games, minus 9 goal difference. We all know why, but I make the point you make. I know, but you know what?
It's getting to the point. Is it getting a little bit stupid now? You know where.
But there's always a whipping boy in a group, isn't there? I mean, young boys.
But Celtic aren't. They're a big club, but they're not good enough to compete in the Champions League
every single time. Look at them, Red Star Belgrade.
They're better off in the Europa League. Just straight into the Europa League.
By the way, Royal Antwerp. They're on 0 points. 14 goals. There's always a whipping boy somewhere. There is. Union Berlin. They've still got another game to play.
They're not bad.
Well, they're sitting on 0 points at the moment, mate. They played 3, lost 3. You know, they're probably going to go out as well. Napoli's in their group as well. Well, the best thing to do is ask Celtic fans about how they feel. It's a little bit like teams coming up to the Premier League. Norwich have done it. Burnley have done it. Sheffield come up, and you end up getting whooped every week.
Yeah, it's not fun.
It's like, do you know what? Would you rather be in a competition where you actually stand a chance and can compete and potentially win it, as we saw Forest, West Ham do, and Rangers.
Yeah.
Is it not better to do that? I don't know.
All right, well let's ask a Celtic fan. James has phoned us up. All right, James.
Right, Jimbo.
Hey boys, how you doing?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Look, obviously you've got whipped tonight, 6-0 by Atletico. You got 1 point. Is it getting a little bit old, this, with Celtic?
It's shocking, mate. Absolutely shocking. That's what the producer there. The mentality of Celtic fans these days is just getting out of order. We're living off a Barcelona, AC Milan for 20 years ago, and it's no good enough. Like you said, we are the whipping boys. We were laughing at Rangers last year.
I know, but you're talking about Barcelona and, and these, 20 years ago. The game and the money has just gone to new heights and new levels, and you just can't compete anymore.
I know, but surely that doesn't matter for a tournament. But so if you talk about the English Premier League and then the FA Cup, and it's the magic of the FA Cup, MD can beat MD. So what's the difference with that in Champions League?
Because you're up against the elite of the elite, and
I know,
but on any given day...
I'm not expecting us to beat MD, but at least put up a fight. If you've got 10 men, sit back and defend what you've got.
Yeah, but you're up against a side that's been in the final in the last 10 years, a couple of times. You're up against a side that won the La Liga.
Well, that's what I thought about earlier. And then what's the point in going in there if you know what? Obviously, every team going in there that wants to win it.
The only reason Celtic are in it is for the money. You get a nice big lump sum of money that comes into the football club. But as a club and as fans, it's not enjoyable anymore. You're just getting pumped every time you go in it. You're finishing bottom. You're out of Europe. Surely if you go into the Europa League, it's going to be so much more enjoyable.
The best part of the Champions League is the team. As soon as the first whistle goes, that's you're done.
I mean, look, I've had a stat here, and I think it's correct. Your record, games 35, goals conceded 91.
It's Well, if we can get 100, then at least we've got a record. But, I mean...
You've conceded 91 goals in 35 games.
It's a joke, but I mean, Rodgers has come in. Big Ange left to go down to your club, Jamie.
Yeah.
And obviously the big thing was, we don't want Ange, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden he's the main man there.
I didn't say that, but there was a few.
Nothing's happened up here again. Obviously Rodgers has taken his time to put his hang on the team again. But all they're doing is replacing guys with guys that weren't good enough at the beginning.
Yeah.
I don't think it's about money anymore. I think it's about recruitment.
Would you prefer to be, James, in the Europa League?
If we had a chance to get to the semi-finals, absolutely, aye. Because
when
what was the best thing we had? Was it striking? We got to the last 16.
The last time you qualified out of the Champions League was 2012-2013 season. So I mean, 10 years, it's like 10 years ago.
Aye, I mean, that's like 10 years of failure. But even getting out the Group League is a failure.
Yeah.
Even though we are a small team compared to Europe, but you still want to win it. But if you could guarantee us semi-final Europa League, then absolutely, aye. That's a big win.
Okay, one other question. What about the conference? Because we've seen West Ham win that.
That's West Ham, isn't it?
I know, but it's...
No, a cup's a cup, but let's be honest. Yeah. The conference wasn't waiting until West Ham won it. You know what I mean? Yourselves and the Bulls were right after the conference until West Ham won it. Don't get me wrong, if you win a cup, you win a cup. Excellent. It's a European Cup. But, aye, well, if you're guaranteed that you take it, let's not be silly, but ideally...
Well, you got a chance. You got more of a chance in the Europa League. Look, James, while I've got you, you're a Celtic fan. I want to ask you about Postecoglou, because we had a big show last night. It was a bumper show, and I don't know if you watched the Spurs game and the high line and the way that they performed. Last season, did Ange play like that when you went down to 10 men?
Well, it was shown in Europe with Big Ange, and I heard Simon Jordan talk about it today, saying that he's saying what the fans want to hear, but that's his mentality. He's basically saying he's kind of putting it on, kind of thing. That is what he's like.
Yeah.
I don't think these Isles have seen a manager like him before, if I'm being honest with you. I think the last person to be like him was Alex Ferguson.
Yeah. No, look, I rate it. I mean, I rate what he's done and how he went about it.
Sorry, what did you just say, James?
I think he's the only person since Alex Ferguson to put his own thing on it. Right. I'm not saying he's exactly the same, but he's got his own thinking and he's just going to go with it. I'm not going to say he's going to do the same success or anything like that. If he's sticking the ring guns, well, if he's going to get sacked, he's going to get sacked by himself and nobody the players. So, fair play him.
Yeah, James, I appreciate you phoning in. I want to hear from Celtic fans tonight because it is getting a little bit ridiculous. So give us a call on that. And would you rather go into the Europa League instead of having to just completely get battered every time you step into a Champions League fixture?
The Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Monday to Thursday nights from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.